Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the video. I've got some tires to mount that you guys will see. They're 215/4D on 18 by 10.5 heritage wheels. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll get into continuing on the RX7. Just fixing stuff that we broke or that wore from the last event at track. So yeah, let's mount up some tires. Alright, so we got those tires mounted up. Now we can work on the RX7. So in the last video, I showed you guys that there was a coolant, outlet or a coolant port that was leaking, that actually broke off, and I welded that and fixed that, put the lower intake manifold had to come off, and so I took that off, put that back in. On this side, some of the issues I'm going to show you. Okay, so as you can see, this vacuum line, the fire sleeve, it was sitting against the dump pipe for the wastegate, and it started to melt that. I did catch that at track, and that's why I zip tied. It the way I did. We are missing, so down where the turbo elbow is, we are missing three. Grab a light. Yeah, so you can probably see there on the turbo elbow, we are missing couple nuts. There's two on the top and one on the bottom, so we're missing three in total. Another thing was these things that hold the spark plug wires kind of melted, and also my brake master reservoir kind of melted. You can see that the little wet sport cozy is now melted to the reservoir, and it's become one with the reservoir. And then the worst thing is probably, I don't know if you guys can see, but the cap on the reservoir melted a little bit too, and now it's not coming off. So Yeah, so we've got all that, and yeah, some of the heat wrap on the downpipe is starting to come off, and even this dump pipe, the heat wrap on here seems to have loosened up. So let's start by taking the dump pipe off for the wastegate, and I'm going to rewrap it, and yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, I don't know how much of that I actually caught because of the angle, but I've got the dump pipe wrapped. I'm just putting on some stainless cable ties now. And yeah, a lot of, I guess the wrap that has been on the car for 2 years now. So maybe it just got old. It was pretty brittle. Like a lot of it was just falling apart. Okay, so here's the dump pipe, rewrapped. It is wet, so I'm gonna let it, yeah, it is wet. Hopefully this doesn't pose a problem. Okay, but that's heat wrapped and can go back on once we tackle the other stuff. Okay, the next thing I really need to figure out is how to get this thing open. And I mean, it can't be, it is pretty melted. That's gonna have to do, at least, so at least now I can take the cap off and refill it if I need. I'm gonna try and get a new cap for this. Yeah, so we should be good there. What I do want to do is is make some kind of heat shield. But anyways, the first thing we'll do instead is okay, so the next thing I want to do is I've got the stock KA header like heat shield, and I want to see if I can somehow get this to still fit on. So yeah, let's start fitting this. Okay, so that took a while. This is basically what is left of the manifold. I had to cut a lot of it off for it to fit. Turns out the Tomei KA-T manifold, this runner actually comes up very high and the heat shield hits that, so you can't use the factory mounting point. So I had to make some random, I made some tabs out of aluminum so that I can mount it. And yeah, let's put it in. All right, so I don't know how much I really recorded because my batteries died. So I was able to get the factory K heat shield somewhat fitting, and I redid all the vacuum lines, kind of kept them more away from the heat, and I added this little heat shield. So hopefully I won't be melting the brake reservoir anymore. I also put the nuts on the downpipe elbow. So yeah, that's pretty much everything in the engine bay. The only thing left to do is I do have a transmission fluid leak. I think it's coming out of the top of the shifter, or it could be coming out of the output, the back seal basically of the transmission. I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out. Yeah, so pretty happy with how the heat shield, both heat shields came out. And I think it should make a pretty big difference. I am still going to, I want to actually cut kind of like maybe like a square opening above the turbo to kind of draw more air out. But I'll probably do that in